Good morning, my dear students. Today, in economics, we are going to continue the same chapter, that is, People as Resource. Children, in our yesterday's class, we have studied how population is an asset for the economy rather than liability. It becomes human capital when investment are made in its healthcare training and education. When we talk about people as resource, we are referring to their existing productive skills and abilities. When this resource is developed, it adds to the productive powers. Children, we have studied how investment in human capital through education, training, and medical facilities is similar to the investment in physical capital. Land and capital cannot become useful by themselves unless human capital makes them useful. And now, children, we will start our today's lesson with economic activities by men and women. Like Vilas and Sakal, people have been engaged in various activities. We saw in our yesterday's lecture that Vilas sold fish and Sakal got a job in the firm. The various activities have been classified into three main sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary sector includes agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry farming, mining, and quarrying. Manufacturing is included in the secondary sector. Trade, transport, communication, banking, education, health, tourism, tourism and services like insurance, banking, etc. are included in the tertiary sector. The activities in this sector results in the production of goods and services. These activities add value to the national income. These activities are called economic activities. Economic activities have two parts: market activities and non-market activities. Market activities, these involves remuneration to anyone who performs the activity, that is, activity performed for pay or profit. These includes the production of goods and services and also include government service. Then children, the next one is non-market activities. Non-market activities, production for the self consumption. These can be the consumption and the processing of primary product and own account production of a fixed assets. Based on the picture, now I think children you can classify the different sectors. In the first figure, farming is shown, that means it is the primary sector. Then in the second photograph, they have shown the industries, it comes under the secondary sector. And in the third photograph they have shown the mode of transportation, that means it comes under the tertiary sector. Now children, division of labor between men and women. Due to historical and cultural reasons, there is a division of labor between men and women in the family. Women generally look after domestic chores and men work in the fields. As we have studied in our yesterday's lecture, Sakal's mother, Sheila, cooks food, cleans utensils, washes clothes, cleans the house, and look after her children. Sakal's father, Bhuta, cultivates the field, sells the produce in the market, and earn money for the family. Here, Sheila is not paid for the services delivered for upbringing of the family. Bhuta earns money which he spends on rearing his family. Children, women are not paid for their services delivered in the family. The household work done by women is not recognized in the national income. On the other hand, Geeta, mother of Vilas, earned an income by selling fish. Thus, Women are paid for their work when they enter the labor market. Their earning, like that of their male counterpart, is determined on the basis of education and skill. Education helps individual to make better use of the economic opportunity available before him. Education and skills are the major determinants of the earning of any individual in the market. Children, once again I am repeating this. Remember this: education and skill are the major determinants of the earning of any individuals in the market. A majority of women have meager education and low skill formation. Women are paid low compared to men. Most women work where job security is not there. Various activities relating to the legal protection is meager. Employment in this sector is characterized by the irregular and low income. In this sector, there is an absence of basic facilities like maternity leave, child care, and other social security system. However, women with high education and skill are paid at par with the men. Among the organized sector, teaching and medicine attracts them the most. Some women have entered administrative and the other services, including job that need high level of scientific and technological components. Now children, the quality of the population. The quality of population depends upon its literacy rate, health of a person indicated by life expectancy, and skill formation acquired by the people of the country. That means quality of population means the overall qualitative functioning of the population that signifies its social, economic, and cultural growth and output. Literate and healthy population are an asset, while the reverse of it are a liability for the economy of the country. The growth rate of the country is decided by the quality of the population. Children, in our yesterday's class, we have seen how Sakal's education in the initial years of his life bore him the fruits in the later years in terms of good job and salary. We saw education was an important input for the growth of Sakal. It opened new horizon for him, provided new aspirations and developed values of life. Not only for Sakal, education contributes towards the growth of society also. It enhances the national income, cultural richness, and increases the efficiency of governance. There is a provision made for providing universal access, retention, and quality of elementary education with a special emphasis on girls. There is also an establishment of pace setting of schools like Navodaya Vidyalaya in each district. Vocational streams have been developed to equip large number of high school students with occupation related to knowledge and skills. The plan outlay and education has increased from rupees 151 crores in the first plan to rupees 3766.90 crore in the 11th plan. The expenditure on the education as percentage of GDP rose from 0.64% in 1951-52 to 3.0% in 2015-16. Children, literacy is not only a right, it is also needed if the citizens are to perform their duties and enjoy their rights properly. However, a vast difference is noted across the different sections of the population. Literacy among male is nearly 16.6% higher than female, and it is about 16.1% higher in urban areas as compared to the rural areas. Midday meal schemes implemented in semi-urban and the rural areas to encourage parents to send their children to school, popularizing education related programs like Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, distance education, adoption of state specific curriculum modification, use of information and technology. Children, now what is Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan? It is a significant step providing education age 6 to 14 years by 2010. It is a time bound initiative of the central government in partnership with state, the local government and the community for achieving the goal of universalization of elementary education. Along with it, bridge course and back to school campus have been initiated to increase the enrollment in the elementary education. Midday meal scheme has been implemented to encourage attendance and retention of children and improve their nutritional status. These policies could add to the literate population of India. That's all for today, children. Thank you and have a nice day.